Welcome to the news on Enyimba TV. We are reaching you from the commercial city of Aba. First, the headlines. TED Fund allocates 500 million naira to construct perimeter fence for Osisioma campus of Abia State Polytechnic. Finland pledges swift action on Simon Ekpa during diplomatic talks. House of Reps Speaker Abbas withdraws bill prescribing jail term for non-recitation of national anthem. Thanks for joining us on the news at this time. I am Esther Chima. Now the news in detail. Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, is allocating 500 million for the construction of perimeter fence for the Osisioma campus of the Abia State Polytechnic. Among other special interventions like 350 million naira for a skill acquisition center and a 350 amphitheater capacity. Rector of the Polytechnic, Dr. Christopher Kano Okoro, who made this known during a special congregation for both junior and senior staff, said the institution is now in a stability period. He also revealed expansion of programs in the school to include engineering, robotics, and mechatronics, with inclusion of artificial intelligence in the curriculum for all students, while promising that internal roads in the institution will soon be asphalted, as approved by the governor of the state. Dr. Okoro also disclosed that 2 senior lecturers are currently on suspension for financial misappropriation, while soliciting support from staff members to take the institution to the next level of success. Opposition People's Democratic Party has assumed a slim majority status in the Abia State House of Assembly with the swearing-in of Aaron Uzodike as a member of the 24-member House on Tuesday. With the new development, the ruling Labour Party in the state, which gained 2 former members of the Young Progressives Party YPP through defection, has 11 members in the House of Assembly, while the All Progressives Congress APC has only 1, leaving the PDP with 12 members. Speaking, Uzodike expressed appreciation to God, who he said has done it at his time. He also appreciated the Governor Alex Oti, the Speaker, and his constituents for standing solidly behind him. The Federal Road Safety Corps FRSC Abia State Sector Command on Wednesday confirmed another road traffic crash along the Arongwa village axis of the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway in Abia State. The accident, which happened opposite the Arab Contractors Construction Company on the Port Harcourt-Enugu Expressway, claimed 11 lives, leaving 8 persons injured. In a press release issued and signed by the Abia State Sector Command Public Relations Officer Enyoko Miracle and released to our correspondent, said the crash involved a Nissan Caravan commercial bus with a registration number SSM 320ZR, color white, conveying 19 persons, 8 male adults and 11 female adults traveling to Enugu, rammed into a Howo commercial truck with registration number T2828 LA, color yellow. According to the release, a combined rescue team from FRSC ROS 9.31 Aba and ROS 9.32 Kilometer 78 Aba Unit Commands arrived at the scene of the crash within 5 minutes of notice and conducted rescue operations. It disclosed that at the time of the crash, 10 persons, that is, 5 male adults and 5 female adults, were injured, while 9 persons, that is, 4 male adults and 5 female adults, died on the spot. The injured victims were taken to the hospital in Aba, while the dead victims were taken to the mortuary. During a hospital follow-up on the crash victims, it was discovered that 1 male adult and 1 female adult died in the evening, while one of the victims was referred to the Federal Medical Center, Omahia. With this latest event, a total of 11 persons, that is, 5 male adults and 6 female adults, have been confirmed dead, and 8 persons, that is, 4 male adults and 4 female adults, confirmed injured, the release stated. Preliminary investigation revealed that the cause of the crash was excessive speed. Further update on the causes of the crash would be communicated as soon as the FRSC crash investigators conclude on the investigation. Recall that few days ago, a fatal accident occurred around the same axis of the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway in Abia State, with 5 persons losing their lives, while 2 persons were left with severe injuries. Investigations from the FRSC Abia State Sector Command attributed the cause of the crash to fatigue. As part of efforts to secure the nation and protect her territorial integrity, the Minister of Defense, Bello Matawale, says the Armed Forces of Nigeria requires 200 million rounds of ammunition annually for its operations. He said the volume will cost the federal government at least $2 per ammunition. The minister disclosed this in Abuja at the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Defense through the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria and the National Agency for Science and Engineering on the establishment of an ammunition production factory in Nigeria. He blamed past governments for the nation's failure to achieve self-sufficiency in the production of military hardware. Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin has withdrawn the counter-subversion bill and other related draft legislations following widespread public concern. The decision, announced in a press statement issued by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Speaker, Musa Krishi, was said to have come after extensive consultations with various stakeholders and a careful assessment of the nation's current circumstances. The counter-subversion bill, which was introduced on July 23, 2024, sparked public debate and raised concerns about its potential impact on civil liberties. It aims to impose stringent penalties on Nigerians who fail to recite the newly approved national anthem or abuse politicians or community leaders. According to the bill, anyone found guilty shall be fined up to 5 million naira and would face 5 to 10 years prison sentence or both. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) is seeking the establishment of a special court to prosecute suspected crude oil thieves and other crimes in the oil and gas industry. Officials of the commission made the statement during their appearance at the investigative hearing of the House of Representatives Special Committee investigating crude oil theft and other losses. The Chief of Staff to the EFCC Chairman, Michael Uzokwe, said the Commission is facing challenges of delayed prosecution of suspects in courts, hence the need for a special court for speedy prosecution. Niger Delta Development Commission also appeared during the hearing, and its Director on Community and Rural Development, Jonathan Alagua, revealed the level of security threat militating against curbing of oil theft. Amid the controversy over the monthly earnings of federal lawmakers, Senator Shehu Sani is maintaining that he received 13 million naira as a member of the 8th Senate, while current members of the 10th Senate receive 21 million naira monthly. Sani, who spoke in a Monitor television interview, insisted that the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission is being economical with the truth. The revelation by the former lawmaker who represented Kaduna Central in the 8th Senate followed the stance of the RMAFC that senators earn 1 million naira each. The former lawmaker said he does not believe there is any need to deceive Nigerians or cover up anything. He said that since legislators receive public money, it is necessary for those involved to come out and say it as it is, like he did. In a related development, Chairman Senate Committee on Sports, Senator Abdul Rahman Kawu Sumaila, NNPP Kano South, says he earns 21 million naira in allowances every month, apart from monthly salary of about 1 million. This revelation came a few days after former President Olusegun Obasanjo had accused members of the National Assembly of fixing salaries and allowances for themselves in contravention of extant laws. Senator Kawu, in an interview with British Broadcasting House Service, disclosed that although his monthly salary is about 1 million naira, but his total take-home was 21 million naira, a wide margin from figures quoted by RMAFC. Finnish government says it is taking action in the case of pro-Biafran agitator Simon Ekpa over his succession activities with the indigenous people of Biafra in the southeast of Nigeria. Finland's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Elina Vutonen, made the disclosure in Abuja during a press conference she addressed alongside her Nordic counterparts. According to her, the case of Ekpa, whose activities were reported to the Finnish government by the Nigerian government, is now before Finnish courts. Vutonen is part of a delegation of Nordic ministers, including Sweden, Finland, Iceland, Norway, as well as Denmark, who visited Nigeria to deepen trade ties between the countries. National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Ribadu has warned that any attempt to undermine, interfere with, or disrupt the peaceful conduct of the September 21 and November 16 Edo and Ondo governorship elections would be viewed as an assault on the very essence of Nigeria's democratic values. The NSA, represented by the Director Internal Security in the Office of NSA, Hassan Abdullahi, stated this at the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security meeting in Abuja, and said law enforcement agencies are on high alert and ready to swiftly and decisively deal with anyone trying to undermine the polls. On his part, the chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, insisted that party and campaign spokespersons must tone down the negative rhetoric. Following the nationwide protest that turned violent in Kano State, the state government has confirmed that thugs stormed and severely damaged the premises of the Kano State High Court, cutting away crucial documents related to corruption charges against the former governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf confirmed this to journalists when he paid a visit to the court for an on-the-spot assessment of the damages. He was accompanied by the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Haruna Issa Dederi, the Chief Registrar of the High Court, Abdullahi Adobayoro, and other high-ranking judiciary officers. Governor Yusuf described the incident as a masterminded and stage-managed mission aimed at disrupting the ongoing corruption cases against Ganduje, who is currently serving as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC. You're watching Enyimba TV News. After the short break, the news continues with foreign, business, and sports updates. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned. Now, the rest of the news. World Health Organization has declared the Mpox outbreak in parts of Africa as a public health emergency of international concern. The highly contagious disease, formerly known as monkeypox, has killed at least 450 people during an initial outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It has now spread across parts of Central and East Africa, and scientists are concerned about how fast a new variant of the disease is spreading and its high fatality rate. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. Mpox is transmitted through close contact, such as sex, skin-to-skin contact, and talking or breathing close to another person. It causes flu-like symptoms, skin lesions, and can be fatal, with 4 in 100 cases leading to death. And now from the business scene, Nigeria Customs Service has been directed to start the implementation of the 0% import duty and exemption of value-added tax on basic food items. This was after President Bola Tinubu approved the implementation of 0% import duty and exemption of value-added tax on basic food items. The Ministry of Finance confirmed the approval in a letter to the Nigerian Customs. Responding, the Comptroller General of the Customs, Bashir Adeniyi, instructed officials of the service to commence enforcement measures. Customs said the duty waiver took effect from July 15 to December 31st, with food commodities including maize, husked brown rice, wheat, grain, beans, and millet. And now sports. As the abysmal performance of Team Nigeria at the 2024 Paris Olympics continues to raise dust, Minister of Sports Development John Ino says the different sporting federations in the country need comprehensive reforms for efficient sports development. He made this known in a televised interview. The minister, who apologized to Nigerians over the poor outing in Paris, indicted the leadership of sporting federations for the lackluster performance, emphasizing the need for systems and the structure at the federations to get the best athletes to represent Nigeria and get the desired medals in the next games. He said the Nigerian Olympic Committee was dead when he assumed office in August 2023 and that none of the sporting federations have well-equipped training centers. He agreed that a state of emergency should be declared for sports development. The minister admitted his limitation and that he had no powers to change weak ones among the federation leaders because they were elected by congresses. And with that sports story, we wrap up this edition of the news on Enyimba TV at this time. But before we go, here is a quick recap of the top stories. TED Fund allocates 500 million naira to construct perimeter fence for Osisioma campus of Abia State Polytechnic. Finland pledges swift action on Simon Ekpa during diplomatic talks. House of Reps Speaker Abbas withdraws bill prescribing jail term for non-recitation of national anthem. Now that's our package of the news for now. Please join us for more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Thanks for watching. On behalf of the production crew, my name is Esther Chema. Thanking you so much for your time.